FileMakerTraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. I'm here with Christian Schmitz, who, as always, we are very lucky to have on the show. He is here to talk about his wonderful FileMaker Monkeybread Plugin, which Richard has said this many times before, but RCC and FM Training T doesn't generally recommend plugins. Or if we recommend a plugin, it's because we use the crap out of it, and this is definitely one of them. It has, I think, over 7,200 functions now, and is legitimately absolutely fantastic. It covers so many things. You're like, man, can FileMaker do this? And if it can't, there's a decent chance the MBS plugin will. So always good to have him on the show talking about it, because with 7,000 functions, there's a lot to cover. Okay, today we're doing 20 free FileMaker MBS functions to change your development, part 1. There is a part 2 with another 20 free functions coming next week. If you'd like to support Christian Schmitz, which you should, at the very least you'll want to get the free functions, you should go to the Monkeybread plugin, monkeybreadsoftware.com. I believe there's .de if you're in Germany, but this stuff is great. Please go get it. It helps keep Christian running, which is great because we need him to make FileMaker capable of doing things it can't do otherwise, and also encourages him to come back on the show with us and teach us more about it. So, Christian, what are we doing today?
Hello. Yeah, today we want to highlight all the nice things in the plugin.
Yes,
so
which will be fun.
You may know that something like 10 years ago, 11, there was this little meeting with FileMaker developers at the bar after the conference in Salzburg, and we discussed what FileMaker does and doesn't. There was this one guy asked, why can't FileMaker show me the loops, if blocks in color? I wondered about this, and the same night I patched the script workspace to get the if and end if blocks colored. And I showed it the next day. And people were impressed and happy, and this evolved over time. And this picture here shows you 15 additions by the plugin as a collage. Like you see, what do you see? Which ones do you identify?
Calculation coloring, script coloring.
Yeah.
And then I believe that's highlight. I can't see. I see relationship
the
search.
loop is highlighted, yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and here's the search box, yeah.
And the others I don't know off the top of my head. So
here the styles are sorted, and there's a find bar, and the font size is bigger. And recently someone complained that I have so many things and the documentation is scattered all around, so we need to combine it. So I wrote a list of these 40 articles to tell you all about the plugins, about all the features. So basically this is our program. So let's start with the first one, script coloring. So we have a rule-based coloring system to colorize scripts. FileMaker got a little bit of coloring over the years themselves, so our plugin overrides that. There's a special logic in there, so if you have disabled script steps, something in gray, we will leave it as gray, but otherwise we override the colors. And this may help you to find script steps which are incorrect, like here, perform script without a script name. It may also show warnings, like here, set field without a field name. And there's the FM syntax colorizer database, which we can use to customize the rules. So in our examples, there's a third-party folder, and there's FM syntax colorizer, and there's the FM syntax colorizer database. And this database is made by Russell Watson, and it includes the default rule set as well as other rule sets. Like here we have defined, this is the English names, there are German names, there should be names for all the other languages. So you see there's a color defined for else, and then there's one for else with a missing condition. And you can adjust the rules as much as you like, give different colors for it. We have a few special rules here, like we have here rules for things like unknown external script step. So there are special things. If the plugin finds this, it will highlight it. There are comments which can have different colors, so you can easily spot a comment telling you to do something or about a bug. We have here wildcard rules, like if a table is missing, field is missing, it will turn red. We have the colors for calculations, and that's it. So let's go back here. We have in this database color schemes. So this is a default color scheme, but like here, there are other color schemes for different reasons. So there's one here, a lot of black, just arrows in red, controls in blue, and highlights in yellow. And so there's a dark mode one here. And yeah, you can change the color palette, you can change the rules. This works very well. Our plugin comes with a default rule set, which you can always reset to. Then we have here the block highlighting, which is quite old nowadays. And yeah, well, very useful. So you directly see where is the exit loop if and where is the end if, else if of the same block. As you see, it handles correctly that you may be on different levels. In the newer plugin version, we also handle start transaction, end transaction, and exit transaction, so you can do that too. Then our rule set comes with a version with for dark mode. So here on the left, you see FileMaker without the plugin, and on the right, you see FileMaker with the plugin.
Much better.
Same here in light mode. So you see here default colors by FileMaker, and you see the plugin colors, and yeah, highlighting the errors is an important thing.
I'm so used to it that I forget that it's part of the plugin sometimes. Like,
yeah. So sometimes it goes wrong. Like if you have FileMaker set up to, so if you are in dark mode and you use dark colors, you may not see much. If you use light mode and you have the dark mode colors, you may not see much too. So FileMaker has script workspace preferences. And in the plugin, we have the syntax color factory defaults function, which you can run at any time to reset the colors. Let me just, oh, this is English. You may want an English one. So script workspace. So let's go in script workspace, and then there is, in the view menu, there is the preferences from FileMaker, where you can click reset button. And in the, for example, the data viewer, not on this file, okay. You can just run our factory defaults function, and then you get the default colors. Or you just go to this database, pick whatever color scheme you like, one of the color schemes here, and then there's a button to apply all the rules. So any questions? No? Okay.
Nope, not at the moment. I think just appreciating this is an awesome feature and always has been.
Okay. So if you go to the dialog for our plugin, you will see there are a lot of checkboxes. And if you want these colors in the script, please turn on the syntax coloring and scripts checkbox, and maybe all the others if you like. And there's a special thing. If you have solutions for your customers, we have a lot of functions which are turned off until you open the script workspace. So there is no coloring of some fields unless you are a developer, because it may happen that the plugin accidentally colors some other field in FileMaker.
Makes sense.
Like in the FileMaker user interface, which let's go to coloring calculations. Normally in FileMaker, your calculation is all black text, but you may want to have other colors. Like we have a color for comments. We have colors for here field names. We have certain keywords, like in this example, the rule is set to be for deprecated to show in red. There's a color for numbers. There's a color for the and symbol, for the here return. There can be different colors for different comments. And you can change all these colors by using here the add tag function, which is what the FM syntax colorizer database calls. So you can change all the colors yourself. If you like to have a different color for curly brackets, you can do so. So the next thing is, the comments. So if you have a / comment or one with /star, we pick up the next word like to do and fix me. And in the coloring rules, there's a command set to say if a comment with this word is found, we give it a different color. You can also have specific colors for individual variables. Like if you have a certain variable you use all the time, you could define a special color for it. So you see it. If it doesn't have the right color, you misspelled it. Then we got bracket highlighting. So if you click on a bracket, the plugin will highlight the other bracket for you. This is very, very useful.
Yes.
It will show you the wrong brackets in red color. So I think a lot of people like that.
I think that's one of my favorite features, because otherwise it's really easy to lose track of where the brackets are and which one's hanging and which one you forgot to have a beginning or an ending for.
Yeah, you can also use it, let's see here, inside. Let's say you have something like here, FM, what is it, execute SQL, and you have a SQL statement here, select star from my table, where, so we even match here A / B equals B. So we match within the text here, but if you have a wrong bracket, it's not matched against this one because it's outside the text. It's also not red. Okay. But if I put one here and one here, so they don't match up. So this one is still wrong.
Which is awesome.
But here having brackets checked within a string is very useful. Okay, you can turn it on and off with a checkbox in the preference dialog or here a function. So we have some people who use our functions to set up FileMaker the way they want when they open the solution. Like if you open your big customer management tool or whatever, and you are signed in as a developer, you can turn them all on like you like. And if you sign in as a normal user, you can turn them all off.
That's a good way of doing that.
So now, why we got our feature to highlight the things, we got this lovely idea. Let's make a new database to say, yeah, we can already color script steps like here, like if. So you see, if got orange, this got blue. We got our search. So because we can go through it, through the lines and define the color based on the text already, I decided we could also just make the background yellow if it matches some text. So you can click through your scripts and see every script having, in this case, E. You can also use two words here. So select off finds only this line, but doesn't find this one because there's no off in the line.
So is it looking for select off like right next to each other, or as long as it's in the line of text?
No, it would also work for the off select. So it's
Got it.
just one of the words, no, all of the words have to appear in the row. As usual, I have to say the plugin can only search the visible text. So if there are more options here for command, where do we have on command? There's a lot of options. Let's say, well, that's visible. Okay. What if I put a comment here? Okay. That's all printed. So all these parameters are part of the line, so we can find them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you would have text which is not shown by FileMaker in the line, we can't find it.
Good to know.
So let's see. So we have a few keyboard shortcuts. So Command F. So I type Command F. I jump to the box, can press Return to jump to the file, to the line. Let's say I search for GoTo. So Command F, return, Command F, return. So I jump to the next one. So we also, because Command F was very convenient, people ask it, well, there's another search box here. So we have Command Shift F to jump to the script search. So FileMaker doesn't have a shortcut for that. And then for doing presentations, we love to zoom. So I can use Command plus to zoom in and out. But that's a different thing. So we got regular expressions. Oh, people love regular expressions. It allows you to do more searching for more specific things. Let's say I'm looking for, what could I look? I could look for a word starting with A and ending with D. So point star D. You see, there's A. Point star is a placeholder for some characters. And then D for an end character, which sometimes can help you if you look for something very specific. Like I could search, it starts with Go, but it ends, it follows followed by Portal. So there the order is specific.
That makes sense.
So we have a couple of examples here. Let's say you want to find something here we search for lines starting with set, or we search here for field or field, like the pipe is for or. We can also use the dollar symbol for the end of the line. And yeah, or here \b is a delimiter for word boundary, so it looks for some words starting with or. So if you use regular expressions a lot, you may enjoy that, and you can turn it on and off with the preference dialog or the function here.
Question. Assuming if you don't use a script to change them, are the settings per user, per installation, or per file? Or something else?
The settings are stored in the preferences file of FileMaker for this user on the computer. So it could be a computer shared with several people, so it's not per user. So it's for the user signed into the computer with their own home folder. Next thing. FileMaker has a lot of tables. And with that, I mean the table control provided by the operation system. This is an NS table view. And Apple has this nice search feature. You may know it. If you have some text in text edit, you can press Command F, you get the search panel, and you can even replace. And this search panel here is a standard user interface from Apple.
Mm-hmm.
And we can use it in FileMaker.
Oh.
Because the MBS plugin extends this NS table view to listen for some shortcuts like Command F to show the find power. So I just enable the feature and bridge it so it can read the cells here of the table. So in FileMaker, you may be on any table like database here. You may look for a field for text fields. You may look for here the options. So find the indexed field. So and you see it's nicely animated by Apple. I didn't do that. I just tell it here is the field. Here's the control with the text and the individual text pieces where they are located. So it can draw the yellow bar around it. It works wonderful. So not just in this list, it's in all the lists. So if you have a value list here and where's my value list? And security and in the layout list, whatever you like. So Command F to turn it on. Of course, it has to be enabled in the preferences. Our plugin automatically scrolls to the line if you have a lot of lines. And there's Command G for finding the next one. So let's see, field, Command G. And oh, we got now Command Shift G to jump back, which is a new thing and for the next version. And yeah, we have also zooming. So for the presentation, it's always good to have big font sizes.
The amount of times Richard is like, can we zoom in? And it's totally understandable, so you can see what's being read. But that's great.
Yeah, you know, FileMaker developers tend to get older over the decades. This works in fields, tables, custom functions, privileges, layouts, and many more. Over 30 windows, as far as I know. And the data viewer. You can find in the data viewer. I think data viewer is another thing. So searching styles. Yeah, also for the list of styles. So if I go here, edit layouts, there's a list of styles here. And this is an NS table view. So our search feature works here. Yeah, a little bit custom drawing, but it looks differently. So the highlighting uses more yellow. So you can search that. Some people have really a lot of styles.
Yes. Now I'm sure some of Nick's files have a whole host of styles.
So if we go to the data viewer, there's nothing here. List. No, I was going to make one. I can just watch one. I can watch 1 + 2. So now I can use here. So on the data viewer, you have to actually sometimes click on the title bar to move the focus to the window. And maybe you have to click on this data viewer in the list. So it gets this blue border. So you know focus is on it. And now Command F will show it. So if you don't have focus, you can press as long as you want. The control will not listen to.
The amount of times I've sifted through information in the data viewer trying to find the one variable I want. I'll remember
you
this
can
exists.
put in here $test and then find it. So let's see. Next thing, a search field for the relationship graph.
I remember when this was new. This is still very cool.
So we have several things here. The plugin adds a little control here. There is a list. So the plugin queries, when this control is built, we query the list of table occurrences. So we have a list here, but if you just add a new one, it doesn't appear here because, well, we read that earlier. So the list doesn't auto-update. You can either type something, you can click something, but when you press return key,
Highlights
we jump here and focus it. Let's move something down. So we had vendors. So as you see, I can here type something and I get auto-completion. So you should have unique beginnings of your table occurrence names. Some people put a number in the front, or some people like make it unique on the front, so it's easier for you. And if we search for assignments, we can also jump to where the table occurrence is on the graph. We have Command F for going into the field, and we have Command G. What's the command? Yeah, Command G to find again. And so we can jump back and forth. And this is a feature, the first feature for today, which is available on Windows. On Windows, things are much harder for me. You know, I started programming more on Mac, and I can do a lot of more things on Mac, but not on Windows. So for Windows, we have this little thing that the plugin waits for a window showing up, with, which looks like this managed database dialog. So we look for a control with a certain internal name, and then we look whether this relationship graph is there as a control. And if we find it, we add this little box like on Mac, where you can type, you can press return, and you can jump to it. And on Windows, the hotkeys use Control key, so Control F to find, Control G to find again. Yeah.
So if you happen to be looking for stuff on Windows, that'll work. Wait, so syntax coloring is a Mac only thing?
Yeah.
Got it.
This is the only thing we have on Windows so far. But,
Right.
well, there's still hope in Claris picking up a few of the features.
There is indeed.
Yeah, and here's someone complaining, yeah, it doesn't work. Well, it's as good as we can. And if you have a specific test file for me to show me where I can reproduce an issue, then maybe I can fix it. But otherwise, this feature has been quite stable for half a year. Nobody complaining. So if you have a new edge case for a bug, please email me. support@monkeybreadsoftware.com.
Christian is nothing if not highly responsive. So
yeah. Next thing, context menus. It's amazing how much context menus are missing in FileMaker. So let's see. Let me exit this. So the first thing we will, if you click on a line, the first question was, the way up here to the edit menu, that's a very long distance, you know? Especially if you have one of these 5K screens and your window is down, you have to move a lot of. Okay, so people complained, can we have a context menu? So we got it. We got cut, copy, paste, clear, select all from the edit menu, as well as activate, deactivate. And then we got a couple of MBS features here, like copy content. This is for all the table views again. So you can just copy the text of a table view, or just a selection, or here, this is from our variable check. You can ask for the list of variables. We can also hide rows. This is for our code folding feature. Here, find in script. The context menu is a way for me to tell you the shortcuts, so you remember them. So here, find here goes to the find field, go to goes to the go to field. Let me show you how much you have selected. And here we have all these context commands, which I think are a different point on the list.
Those are like the pre-saved script steps, right?
Yeah. So again here, context menu, fields, context menu, copy content. If you ever needed a list of your fields as text, just copy.
That's cool.
Copy the value. I mean, I click on serial number, I click copy value, I just get serial number because that's the cell below the mouse. Here is again show find bar, which opens the find bar so people know that it exists, which is a big problem for me, that people use the plugin but have no idea that they can find something. We have sort selection, also very useful. Like you have field names, you like to sort them by name.
That's cool. I did not know that was a thing.
So let me exit here without saving. We have here the layout dialog. So you have here different layouts. And you can also sort selection. So you can sort your layouts by name.
But you don't have to sort the entire thing. That's really cool.
Yeah, let me just make a duplicate. So here, oops. I'm gonna name this. So FileMaker lets me make duplicate names here. So now someone tells you, please clean up, find all the duplicates. So we have a plugin command, which, okay, to-do list. So it should highlight the two here. If it works, it shows you the duplicates. The next thing is you can collapse the folder with a menu. You can export all. So we can use the context menu to copy in content. Like sometimes people ask, can I have a list of all your user accounts here? Just copy.
Yeah.
Just copy. You get the whole list. Not the passwords.
That's about to ask, is it copy passwords?
Just the names.
Just the names.
No. You know that FileMaker, there's a feature in FileMaker which I think may have been inspired by the plugin. So if I click on the perform script here, the plugin will notice that it's a perform script and offers you to go to the other script. So I added that. And nowadays, you can just command click in FileMaker. So this feature is now built into FileMaker. So with the plugin as a context menu, and with FileMaker built in now with command key.
Yeah, but not everyone's going to know command clicks. Having it available in the context menu is still really useful.
So I think we have everything on this page. Again, you can turn it on and off as much as you like. Because, you know, for every feature I add, there's at least one user complaining that
I didn't want anything to do with it. Yep.
So then we have zooming in the script. We have these little controls here. Even if you disable this control, I think you can still use Command plus and Command minus because you don't need to show the widget here. But the widget is about people seeing it. And you may notice that while we zoom in the table view, this list of line numbers is drawn by a FileMaker with a fixed distance. So they don't look up where is the line actually drawn, they just draw them with a fixed distance. But still you can click here next to the line and turn on and off your breakpoint. So when you click, you see, when I click here, FileMaker will look up which row is at this coordinate and then turn on and off the 5 here. But they don't draw it there.
Yeah, well.
And changing the numbers is a lot of work for me if I would override that. So I haven't done it.
Makes sense. But the zoom feature, no, Richard uses that constantly.
Yeah. So let's see, shortcuts again. The feature also is available for dialogues, like you know. Command plus. If you are presenting Just click into it. If you have a lot of fields, you can zoom out.
Useful.
Also for other dialogues, I mean, here, manage whatever layouts.
I did not realize that.
And I think we only do it temporary, so next time we open it again.
Probably back to the original default size.
Yeah. So that's number 9. If we don't get through all of them, we can also make a third day. So show IDs for scripts, values, fields, and tables. So let's start here. Fields, no, tables. So tables have internal IDs. There's a base table ID and the table occurrence ID. It may be useful sometimes to know those IDs. So now you know the ID, especially if you do something like work with a DDR or save as XML. You may find these IDs all over the place. If you look at XML snippets, you may find it. You can also ask the plugin for get me the table name for the ID or other way around. The same for field IDs. You can ask the plugin what's the ID for the field name or field name to ID. Here the field ID, the field number is the creation order. So if you sort field names by name.
The IDs would be out of order.
Yeah. So, okay. I think I may write down a few things to sort by field ID. I have to check if I can enable that. The find duplicate was broken. But could also be that I'm just using a newer version of FileMaker and something changed internally for them.
Yeah, sometimes bug fixes need to happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
Let's see, we go to the layouts list. So again, you can ask the plugin, get me the layout. So the plugin saw that this layout name is there twice. So we show you a question mark.
So it recognizes that those two are duplicates. Got it.
Okay. Yeah, so you see the duplicate by the question mark there. Again, you can ask ID to name because the name changes. On some spaces, on some occasions, you may prefer to use the ID to find the layout name and then say go to layout name because the name can change all the time because people rename layouts. So the ID doesn't change. So we have layouts, fields, values. Oh yeah, value lists, the same for value lists. So you have value lists, you have IDs here. ID by MBS Plugin. So IDs, if you delete something, the ID is not reused, so you will have, you may have missing IDs. So manage value list, yeah, you can turn it on and off as you like. And you have some functions to enable this or preferences dialog. So next one. While we are on the dialogues, we enjoy having more space. Earlier today, I saw someone running FileMaker and an emulation on a very old Mac, the System 6, something like 30 years ago. And it feels like we still have the same dialogues. Like, these dialogues usually are tiny, or we have big screens, so we like to make them bigger. We may want to have more space. Oh, that's too much. We may want to have more space here. So you see the columns. I close the dialog. I open it again. Was it value list? Yeah. And the column widths are still there.
I did not realize it was MBS that was responsible for this.
That's not normal here. So the MBS plugin once again, enables a built-in feature of macOS to remember column lists. The plugin just turns it on. And the plugin sees the table view and says, okay, we need to remember this. We tell the system, yeah, you need to remember it, and it will write it in the preference file when you close the window, and when you open the window again, it will read it. So you can turn it on and off. Technically, you could edit the preference file to manually remove it, but usually you never do that. You just enjoy it. Especially for dialogues here, like the layouts.
Yes, I have made those so much wider.
Okay. Now close it. Open it again. Works.
Yeah, I've used that a lot. I had no idea that was MBS doing that for me. So good to know.
Okay. We're at 11. No questions so far?
No, just people, I think, enjoying the show. We have a lot of people here today. So.
Okay, even neighbors. So we can check variables. This is a fantastic feature to find mistyped variable names, but it requires you to be, well, code a certain way. Like declare variables. Tell the plugin about your variables. Otherwise, we have no way to know what's going on. So I just say here, test is 1, 2, 3. Let's make a new line and say here, $test +1. And I misspelled it. You see, $test not found. The line is red. And the plugin saw that you declared you have a variable. So you can tell the plugin, let's say I have here test is $p. So the plugin has no idea about p. Yeah, we don't check global variables at all. But let's say you have here a variable p. This variable may be defined with a let statement. But we can't pass let statements for various reasons. Let me just put in a value. So the plugin can't pass that. We have no way of knowing everything from a let statement, and mainly because you may have a comment here. Oops. You may have a comment here and say define pi. Oh, this should be, otherwise people will complain. At least a little bit. So, okay, the plugin sees this line. We have no chance of seeing that there is a line break.
Oh, so it can't tell.
For the plugin, this is all one comment. So, but we can tell the plugin, well, let's say here variable $test is 2. This is a valid name for us. So you see, I put it in, the error was removed.
Got it. So it can read comments that exist in the script workspace, but not necessarily in the calculation engine.
Here I can write, say, variable $pi. The plugin also will recognize it. So I can use comments to tell the plugin about the variables.
Good to know. Question. About the back to the making dialog fields wider. Question, do you have a way to make the left pane wider in the sort or export dialog?
That's a good question. Let's just open this one. Oh.
Yes.
Can't you just resize it? As far as I see, you can resize the dialog, so there should be no need to make this wider. But well, email me and tell me exactly what your what's the question. So sort. Oh, I have no records. Oh, I have no records. That's why I can't sort them. Okay, here, yeah, I can resize it. So I don't think I need to do anything with the plugin. What? Well,
that does not work on Windows in sort.
Oh, yeah, and on Windows I'm limited to this. Okay, so you can tell the plugin with add variable, but you can also just write var, or you can write add parameter or param, or you can write add constant or add const to tell the plugin about variables you may have defined somewhere in a custom function and the plugin doesn't know about. Or for a lot of things, you may want to actually, for loop, you may want to make sure that you initialize variables always, like even if you know the variable is 0 until defined. Like here, we could have something like next plus 1. So people know $next is not defined, so it will default to 0. And so I don't need to define next, but if you use the variable check, you may want to define your variable upfront. So if you have notifications enabled for FileMaker, you will also get a notification about the variable being undefined if you turn it on in the preference dialog.
That's cool.
So let's statements, that's what I just showed you with the comment here. Then you can use add variable, add parameter, or add constant, or shorter. And yeah. So we usually limit the scan to 500 lines to find variables. There's a function here for set limit, how many lines we should scan upwards, and at very big scripts, we default to do nothing. So 2000 lines is turns off automatically unless you raise the limit. Because every variable check costs time, and we don't want the script workspace to get too slow. But if your script is longer than 500 lines, you may have an issue. Okay, happy time for another one?
Yes.
This is a thing for our Pro users, people with a lot of styles, because there's a style menu here.
Oh.
And this menu is alphabetically sorted by the plugin.
Oh, wait, it's not alphabetically sorted otherwise?
No.
The audacity in assuming it would naturally do that.
You have to think about we have users with something like 50 styles. And to find the one you need in this list can be difficult. So to make this work, I have to intercept FileMaker showing the menu. I have to go through the menu, find the item for object style, find the entries, sort them, put my little mark here, and then let the menu show. It's a lot of work for a little benefit.
Well, the people who use it,
off.
I'm sure, use it constantly.
Yeah.
If you've got 50 styles and that's something that you really use.
Okay. Calculation font size. You know, we present a lot. We may want this text to be bigger. So default is something like 12, plus maybe 16. And you can pick the size you like in our preferences dialog. So here there's a field. Actually, I could make it a slider because you can just make something, pick something between 10 and 20 or so. So, or make it a pop-up like here. This is for script workspace, and this is for calculation. So if the font size is below 16, we will change it to 16. And just today, I had another feature because, you know, we have this command plus and command minus, and I just added that too here. So you can just change it on the fly while we are in the dialog. So yeah, so new shortcut coming for the next version. Then someone of you has still a touch bar on the MacBook?
I still have mine, yeah.
Yeah, how often do you press the ESC key?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah, you may hit ESC without. So
It
The
drives
option
me
I
nuts.
added to fix this for me is to say if the touch bar is used, so I can detect if the key is coming from the touch bar or from a normal keyboard. So there's a keyboard ID. If the escape key is coming alone, I just block it. We ignore it. If you press Option Escape key, so you have to actually press 2 keys on the keyboard, then we changed it to be just Escape. So I remove the Option flag, and we pass it through to the dialog. This helps me to not close things by coding.
Yeah, right in the middle of it
You're
before it
coding
gets
here,
saved.
you write a lot of things, you spend 5 minutes, and then you hit Escape, and it's all done.
Yeah, been there. Oh, okay. That's good to know. I'll have to go turn that on. Is it turned on by
Okay.
default? Or you have to
I
go?
don't think so. It only shows up if you have a Mac with a touch bar.
Got it.
So the preference dialog doesn't show it here because this is the one. Oh, there it is. I don't have a touch bar.
Huh. Good to know.
Okay, so block esc shows. So maybe I made a bug and show it always, or or I show it now. Well, we'll see. So the feature is only enabled if you have a touch bar. So next thing, line numbers. I put a lot of work into adding line numbers to the script editor for FileMaker 12 or 11. And then FileMaker came. There's a new script workspace in 14, and it had line numbers.
No!
I had to actually remove my line number feature. But, well, we got this nice dialog. So if your colleague is telling you, please take a look at line 12, you can type in 12 and press return key and jump to line 12, which is very useful if you have the script with 2,000 lines. Okay. So there's nothing special about it. It's a Command G to jump there, and you type something and you press return, and the plugin tries to find the line. And I said, if you don't have enough lines, we stop at the last one.
Good to know.
Okay. There's a checkbox to enable our function. And the plugin will scroll to find the line. So let's try. So we go to line 70. Boing.
Oh, there it goes.
20, even animated. Oh, nice. Next one. Show fields for the export dialog. When you are in the export dialog, you want to pick the fields to export. You may not want to include some calculation, some like unstored calculations. You may not want to include some global fields. You may not want to include some container fields. So you may need a little help to know what's what. Yeah, export. So you may want to know what's the type of the field. So you have to move the mouse over the field name. Wait a second or two, and the plugin will fill the tooltip with the information it gets from FileMaker using SQL. So we ask FileMaker for the list of the field names with the types. So you see this is a normal field. Varsha is text. And we are over the third of 11 rows, which helps people to identify the row number they are in, because sometimes they look for field number 30 or so. You can go to different tables, and the plugin should still pick it up. No, what do I need? Yeah. So I need to move the mouse a little bit and then stop moving it. So there's a date field, a Varsha field, a date field, Varsha. So, and yeah. So I don't have to go to manage database,
and go
try
look.
to remember which fields are the ones I want. What's the global field here? Let's say we add a global field, global field here. Oops, too quick. I have to actually make it global. Options, storage, yeah. Okay, and so this will say this is a normal field. A normal field, so not a calculated one. It's a global field, and type is varchar, where variable characters is text. If I move the field on the other side, I can also the type there.
There you go. Does this work in Windows? Someone was asking.
No, of course not. So this thing works because I can patch this list here, this list showing in the dialog, to add the plugin as a tooltip provider, and then read the cell, read here which table name, and then make it the lookup. So all the field types here, calculated fields for stored calculations, globals for global, and yeah, you can turn it on and off if you want.
Good to know.
Yeah, maybe useful for some of you, but once again, a feature where you actually have to not move the mouse to actually see it.
To realize it exists.
Yeah. Oh, you see here also there's repetition in the field. So there's a 100 in brackets.
Interesting.
Because it's a repeated field. A number fields show us decimal. Yeah. Summary field here shows a summary. So this is the information we get from the SQL interface. The next thing is MBS function calls in blue. So when you call the MBS plugin with the wrong function name, we will give you an error, of course, but we want to help you earlier. So when you type somewhere MBS with an opening bracket and here quotes, then if the name is correct, it's all blue. If it's wrong, it will be red. You can have the first part or the second part correct. You may even have both correct, but not the combination. So we will show you this in color.
That's very useful considering the amount of functions that
yeah,
easy to mess up typing.
Yeah. Hey, if I would 7,200 functions, 1 per second, I could read it all in 2 hours. The next thing is script highlight color. So if you're on Script Workspace, if I select something, this is blue. There are people who have difficulties seeing this blue color.
Oh, yeah.
So an accessibility feature.
That's
so
nice.
You can copy here a line. You can run it in the data viewer. Just put it in, evaluate, go back, and you see the plugin adds a little bit of that color. You can pick whatever color you need. So let's just pick another one, make it evaluate. This would be, yeah, very blue. Maybe better use a shade of the color, not, oh, what was it? MBS syntax, that highlight script.
Yep.
So, and just put it in empty and then it's gone.
Got it.
So if you know anyone who's colorblind, this may help them. Also, the colorblind people can use a different color scheme here to use other colors. I mean, depends on what color blindness type you are. If you can't
there's a
distinguish red and green, or if you can't distinguish yellow and blue, or whatever.
a lot of different options.
Okay. For Mac, if script coloring is enabled. Maybe the last one for today.
Yeah.
Code folding. Code folding can be very useful if you have a lot of script lines and you like to fold something. The plugin looks on the boundaries, loop and loop. If so, let's see here. I can just shrink it, expand it. The plugin just modifies the view of the script. We don't actually remove script lines. We just hide them.
I about to say, is it just hiding them? Yeah, okay, that
You
makes
can
sense.
also manually hide something with the menu and unhide all script steps. And since we just changed the current view of the script, if FileMaker reloads the script, like when you save a change, that's here, you see, whenever I make a save, FileMaker first have to edit. Now I have to now save, shows it again. So it's only temporary on the view. Of course, Claris could implement this with more features like remembering this. So if you need it on Windows, you also ask Claris. You can use it in the debugger. Can be very helpful if you have a lot of script lines and you like to hide a few. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is very cool. This is definitely something that I use a lot because otherwise I
Yeah,
get lost inside the if statements and I'm like, what?
Yeah, don't do any editing while you are, while it's folded, because no, it automatically unfolded, and FileMaker is not aware about lines being hidden. But it's so useful to have. It's even if it doesn't work perfectly all the time, but it's so useful. Oh yeah, in the debugger, we have to show the debugger.
Yes.
Oy.
Huh. So how does that work for going down script steps? You said FileMaker doesn't see it, so it'll still process and unfold it.
Yeah, when I click here next, FileMaker reloads the whole thing and
got it. But if you're just trying to skim and find your way to, that's really cool.
Yeah. So okay, and yeah, let's just see if we had this start transaction, open transaction, revert transaction. You see those belong together, and we can also fold that. So not just loops and ifs, but also transactions. Okay.
That's
any questions
very
left?
Cool. Nope. Just a lot of thank yous. Thanks as always. Gotta run. Thank you. This is really cool.
If you like to get the features, please install the plugin.
Yes.
On your Mac or Windows box. Windows just relationship graph search, but better than nothing. And we appreciate if you buy a license, but these features are available for free because, well, it's just a goodie for our users.
These are some really awesome goodies, but yes, no, the plugin is not that expensive. You should absolutely buy it. But if you're like, I'm going to dip my toes into it, pick this up. Like I said, I have been using these features for so long. A lot of them I didn't realize were MBS. So, which speaks a lot to Christian's skill and what he implements, things that make life that much easier. All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming. Go to monkeybreadsoftware.com or .de or to get the plugin, and I will let you all have a good one. Goodbye.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir.